Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Jared. I host a daily live podcast where we discuss news and politics. And one thing you'll never catch me doing over my dead body is lying to my audience, especially when I don't put a source in my material. So let's talk about the stock market today, which is expected to have its largest loss. I don't really give a fuck. Let's just keep it moving. Today is supposed to be the Black Monday, right? Or the second coming of that, or whatever. And they're expecting the U.S. stock market to crash. And I just wanted to point out how much I don't give a fuck. But let's use some math to figure out how much of a fuck I actually give. Okay? According to a Yahoo investor report from January 10th, using data from the Federal Reserve, meaning like we ain't arguing about this is just the fucking facts. 1% wealthiest Americans hold 93% of all stock. Fuck them. 1% of stock is owned by the lower 50% of earners in the United States. So, hey, my people, my audience, if you're poor, you probably don't own stock. There's like a 1% chance you own stock. Okay? What did I just tell you? The lowest earners hold 1% of stock. The wealthiest 1% hold 93% of stock. Okay? This means that there's like 6% of stock left over for people making in excess of $50,000, but that aren't uber rich. Okay? That's not a lot spread. 7% of stock for the 99% of us. I'm going to say it again. 99% of the U.S. population only owns 7% of stock in the U.S. stock exchange. And 93% of the stock in the United States is owned by the wealthiest 1%. Don't misquote shit. Don't say, oh, this impacts all of us. No, it impacts people that hold shares of stock. It is a betting game. It always has been. The hard reality here is the powers that be that bought this fucking election are losing their fucking asshole. And now they're trying to get people on the left to make content saying like this is bad for all of it. No, this is bad for you if you work for a publicly traded company. This is fucking bad for you if your ownership made bad decisions. I don't care who you work for, and you shouldn't either. You should care about what you do for work, right? And so understand that if the stock market crash causes you to lose your job, let me explain something to you that I have had to deal with personally throughout life. I've worked for several companies that have gone out of business. They were going out of business when I got there. Don't worry, it wasn't my fault, okay? And understand that on several fronts, I've been awesome at my job, highly ranked within the company, and the companies still fail. The hard reality for some of us is that, hey, let me put a pin in that. And hey, to any world leaders that might be really questioning their relationship with the United States of America, I just want all world leaders to know the United States has the means to remove Donald Trump. We have not only the ability to impeach and remove from office, we also, Donald Trump himself, came up with Executive Order 13848, and Joe Biden re-signed it every year he was in office. And after November 5th, an investigation started by every state and multiple agencies. And if you're concerned for the safety of your citizens and you live in another country, just know that the U.S. Department of Justice is withholding that information from the public. Donald Trump shouldn't even be president. He cheated in this election. There's more than enough evidence proving that Elon Musk doctored the election results, and understand that there is an investigation already conducted. It's just the Department of Justice is dragging their feet because Donald Trump's president, and a lot of the people that are currently in power are Russian assets. From Tulsi Gabbard to Pete Hegseth, those are the big ones. Kash Patel, Russian assets. Donald Trump is a Russian asset. Your government's going to have to do something. My government has been overtaken by Russia and Israel, who are in their death throes. Israel's currently committing a fucking genocide because they want to turn Gaza into a parking lot and fucking free Palestine. And also, Russia wrongly invaded Ukraine, Slava Ukraine. In case you need to know that. And for the record, how about this? More Americans agree with me than give a fuck about the stock market. And so, hey, this is to our leaders too. Y'all know this shit exists. Why hasn't one person spoke up? Why hasn't one elected official gone to a podium and said, you know, it's about time we saw the results of the investigations into each election from the 2024 U.S. election per Executive Order 13848, which Donald Trump and Joe Biden re-signed every year he was in office. We haven't been given an all clear. So if you don't get an all clear, right? And also I'd like to see Jack Smith's report volume 2. And I want to see international courts get involved. I want democracy forced upon us, or fuck democracy. We need to go another direction. This shit isn't working for us. Clearly, private equity, and capitalism are a stain upon our society. And we can fix it. We can fix it. Socialism is the way. Using unions to seize the means of production and socially owned businesses. You could even keep your stock market. But know that I work in finance, and one thing I can't stand is hearing someone else talk about numbers and they completely suck at fucking talking about numbers. Yes, more than half of the US population owns stock, but as someone who has worked for corporations, frequently corporations will give you stock or sell you stock really cheap. So that's kind of a cheap piece of data. You know what I mean? Like, I don't respect someone that says, like, we should all be worried about this because 58% of Americans own stock. What? Fuck all this. The richest 1% owns 93% of stock. That's the number that matters. It's called the law of big numbers. Look for the big number. The richest 1% owns 93% of the stock. Fuck it. Let it crash. I don't give a fuck. My job is not going anywhere. In fact, the stock market crashing does my job better for me. Because now people will just naturally call because they don't want to declare bankruptcy. It's not their fault. That's why I'm here founding the American Socialist Party, hosting a daily live podcast, talking about the news, talking about what I would do. And I'm not running for public office. That's not the intent. I'm here to set up the party, find the right people, okay? And I'm a syndicalist, socialist, which means that I'm pro-union, and I think the people that have worked to get people better wages and benefits would be great political leaders. Because that's when you feel pressure, you don't rise to the occasion. You fall to your level of competency, right? And if somebody's competent at getting people better wages and getting people better health care, then that's what their level of competency will be when they're in office, right? So the idea is now they get in office and they don't become a scumbag, right? So anyway, I'll be live 8 a.m. to 9:30 on YouTube and Clapper. We got banned from going live on TikTok for asking if Elon Musk was cross-eyed or handicapped, mentally handicapped, because his mom said he had developmental disorders. And I don't know that I've ever seen a picture of Elon Musk like straight on. It was just a question. I wasn't trying to be mean or nothing. I did say the R word. So we'll work on that. I just blurted it out. Like, is that motherfucker? You know what I mean? So anyway, we're eating a few day ban. Y'all take it easy. We'll catch you on the podcast soon.